What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new show called Good or Bad. So, in context, what's going to happen is that I have a special guest that will appear on and will say that this movie would be good or bad, and I will be the devil's advocate. Either one of us will embrace either the positive aspects or the negative aspects of the film, and it's up to you guys to determine who in the end is the actual winner. I also want to give a shout out to Adam Daly because he's actually the person that created this concept of a show, and it used to be on youtube.com, but he decided to go ahead and do podcasting now. Go ahead and check him out on Spotify or subscribe to his YouTube channel, and I'll put them down in the description links below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started talking about Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel has a 79% for critics and a 49% from audience members on Rotten Tomatoes. On IMDb, there's a 6.9 out of 10 rating. On Metacritic, it has a 64 out of 100. And on Letterboxd, it has a 3.2 out of 5 stars rating. So as you can tell from the rating system, the fan base seems to be pretty split down the middle. So does that mean that the movie is good, or does that mean the movie is bad? Well, today, my special guest who are actually defending on this movie as being a good film is my good friend Rachel Wagner from Rachel's Reviews on youtube.com. I'm really glad to have her be the first guest on the show, so without further ado, Rachel, go ahead and give your defense on why you think that this movie can actually be a good case on why it's actually good.
Hey everyone, so I am here to talk about Captain Marvel, and I am supposed to be giving a pro defense of Captain Marvel. And I said, I don't know if I'm the right person to give this defense because I'm not like in love with this movie, but I think it's entertaining enough. I did go fresh on it, so I guess that's enough these days. And I think the things that I like about Captain Marvel is I think it genuinely goes with the tone and feel of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I'm in general a fan of. I haven't gone fresh on all of their films, but overall, the light-hearted nature of the franchise is more my cup of tea. And in general, I like that escapism and that style in my movie making. What I really liked about Captain Marvel is sort of the buddy cop element between Nick Fury and Agent Coulson. I love Agent Coulson. We haven't seen him in the MCU for quite a while. I know he's been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I haven't watched that show for a while. So to me, getting to see Agent Coulson back with Nick Fury was really fun. I think it's some of the best de-aging that we've yet to see. It's still kind of maybe a bit of a weird look, but I think it was pretty good. And seeing the two of them going back and forth was a lot of fun. Their interactions with Carol Danvers, with Captain Marvel, was a lot of fun. I enjoyed especially the first third of this movie where you see Carol getting trained, getting manipulated by the Jude Law character. You have her coming down. There's a lot of 90s nostalgia, her being at that Blockbuster and all that stuff. The whole fight on the train, on the subway, I think is really fun. I think the movie loses its way a little bit in the middle where they're just at the house and just waiting and waiting and waiting. Not a whole lot is happening. They're just sort of talking and it's not that interesting to me. But then I think it picks up again towards the end. And I think everything with Talos and that whole plot development was definitely fun and a surprise, and I enjoyed it. And so overall, I think it has enough that the positives outweigh the negatives. I think that it is true that Brie Larson could have more chemistry, but I don't think she's the worst in their first origin movies either. I'd put this ahead of Edward Norton in The Incredible Hulk. I'd probably put it ahead of Chris Evans in his performance in the first Captain America movie. I mean, I liked both fine, but I'd probably put this movie about the same as that first Captain America movie. I think they're both entertaining and a pretty good start to their character, but I think they both have parts that kind of lag and a bit boring. How Nick Fury got the scar on his eye is a bit of a groaner. It didn't really work for me, but I do like Goose. That was a lot of fun. Who couldn't like Goose? So cute. So overall, I think it's an entertaining entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I put it right in the middle. It's not one of the worst to me. It's not one of the best. So that's my thoughts on Captain Captain Marvel. Let me know what you think, and I'll be curious to hear what my opponent has to say in this regard. So there you go. That's my thoughts, Captain Marvel.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for being a part of the show. If you guys haven't subscribed to her YouTube channel, be sure to go ahead down in the description link below, or check out any of the podcasts that she's done, or check her out on Rotten Tomatoes in case you don't like any of the other critics that are on Rotten Tomatoes. But now it's time for me to play devil's advocate and talk about the negative aspects of this film and why I would think that it's actually a bad movie. And I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's, like, okay, like Rachel thinks, but I'll go more onto the negative side on why this movie is not that good. The first thing that I want to bring up is that there's so many subplots, and not only that, it's really jumpy, and they don't give time and dedication to each of these plots that are in the film. They kind of just jump back and forth to one or the other, and it doesn't feel like that it's complete or finished. The type of stories and subplots that they have in the film seem to be well enough interesting, but they don't seem to have an idea on why they're bringing them up in here in the first place. If you can't concentrate and really focus on the actual plot lines that you're giving in the movie, you're gonna lose attention, and that's why I feel like the movie really doesn't work for me. Especially in a Marvel movie where there usually is consistency and there is simple understanding with the characters that are going on in their films. But this one, it feels like it's so confusing. Now, the subplots and the storylines that they have in general are good and they can be interesting, but if you're not giving it time and dedication to those subplots and storylines, then you're basically going to lose track on what kind of identity you want your movie to be about.
Which leads me to reason number 2. There doesn't seem to be a clear vision on what Captain Marvel is supposed to be about. Within each storyline, it seems like that they have different types of messages that they're trying to convey. One about holding back her powers, another one trying to make her understand the difference between what's a real hero and what's a real villain, and another one talking about whether or not she's good enough to be a superhero. These messages are good things for the character, but the problem is that if you don't have a real clear vision, like one clear vision on what the actual character is supposed to be about, and you're using way too many different messages at the exact same time, you kind of shrink down the actual real identity on what makes Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel. Just because you have a lot of different messages, all of them good, blend it all up, and then spew it out in the movie, it doesn't mean that it's going to be good. You need consistency and one theme to follow in order for us to understand what Captain Marvel is like. And the last thing that I want to bring up is that for a Marvel movie, the action's not that good. There's a lot of dark shadows and dark areas that you can barely see any of the action, and it's hard to tell out what's going on at times. You don't really understand Captain Marvel's superpowers and how they work to her ability. The camera compositions and camera movements can be awkward half of the times whenever they showed some action. Most of the fight scenes are like 1v1 battles, and whenever there's a lot of people in there, they kind of just clutter all around in front of the camera where you can't necessarily see a lot of or make out what kind of choreography they're doing. Half of the times you can usually see them, but other times it feels like it's cluttered up. And because I said that this movie is having a lot of trouble with its storytelling and character dedication, it's hard to get a grasp of any excitement or thrills because you don't really feel like that you are with these characters whenever they are in action. You don't really feel like that you want to see them get out okay, or you want to see them overcome some kind of battle. It just feels like there are two random sides fighting each other and you just want the movie to end. And that's what happens when your story arcs become really jumbled up and out of place, and they don't really have that much dedication to them. Because they don't have that much dedication to them, you can't be with those characters, and when you're not with those characters, you're not really into the action that much either. And that is my negative side on why I think Captain Marvel can be a bad movie, even though I don't think it is a bad movie. Be sure to vote in the final poll on which one you agree with the most, Rachel's side or my side. Also, be sure to put down in the comment section below what you think of Captain Marvel and what movie you would like to see on the show, good or bad. And like this video if you agree with what I say, or dislike this video if you disagree with what I say. Or like the video if you agree with Rachel, or dislike the video if you disagree with Rachel. I don't know how that works, and I don't mind the dislikes. I don't know how that works. I just do whatever you want with the like system, okay? But that is all we have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out Rachel Wagner. It's very hard to say that name. Be sure to check out Rachel Wagner's YouTube channel. It'll be down in the description link below, or I'll put it at the end title. But yeah, that's it I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video.